Hey everybody, it's Justin from the Bill Handel Show. I wanted to tell you my story in regards to next advanced medicine. When you grow up in my family, it's an inevitability, a genetic inevitability that you will become diabetic. Everybody, my great grandfather, he lost half a leg because an orderly trimmed his toenails too short. My grandmother's diabetic, been doing insulin injections for as long as I can remember. Both of my uncles diabetic. So when my dad was diagnosed, we just thought it was no big deal. 3 years after he was diagnosed and started taking metformin, he had a heart attack. He started doing marathons, eating right, exercising all the time, and he was okay for a little bit. They also started giving him cholesterol and blood pressure medication after his heart attack, and he was okay, like I said, for a little bit, but about 2 years in, his health just started taking a dive. He had no energy to do anything. It was bad. And we thought it was just because he was aging and just aging harder than most people. And it was about 3 years ago now, 3 or 4 years ago, he started to lose feeling in his hands and feet. And then he started losing the vision. Now, if anybody's heard me do the commercials on KFI, you heard me talk about those shots in his eyes. They started giving him about 9 injections each eye about every 12 weeks to save his eyesight. That didn't work. So they upped it to 10 weeks. Then they did 8 weeks. At the worst, it was every 4 weeks. He was getting 9 shots in each of his eyes and all of that and still not getting better. And it was about that time, about a year, a little more than a year ago, he called me and said, hey, I found this clinic down in Southern California. Can I come down there and stay with you while I go to this clinic for my diabetes? I said, sure. He came down. I now know he came to the same seminar you guys are all at. And then went to his consultation. They got like a cookbook, and my mom and him, I remember going through it, and they were pretty excited about it. Within 2 weeks of him doing this program, you could see a difference in his energy. He just seemed more alive. 2 weeks, 10 years diabetic, 2 weeks in, a different guy. 2 months in, he was cutting out his medications entirely. 2.5 months in, he was no longer diabetic. And I asked him about a month in, I said, Dad, where did you find this place? And he said, I heard it on your radio station. Now, you can't see it right now, but see this right here? That's the button that I pressed to press play on the commercial for Next Advanced Medicine, and I had no idea. So now he's finished with the program. He went to see his cardiologist for a follow-up appointment. His cardiologist looked at his labs and said, these are your numbers with no meds. And my dad said, yeah. He goes, well, you don't need me anymore. He went on vacation. He's a weekend warrior guy. He's back to tearing up his house and renovating. He added on to his dining room at his cabin. And it was really incredible to watch because my dad went from a guy who was so broke, he had to park the car on the water meter so the city couldn't turn the water off when he was in his mid-30s. And him and my mom busted their butt so he could retire in his late 50s. And to see him not have the energy to enjoy that retirement was painful. But not after he came to Next Advanced Medicine. He's enjoying his life. He's wrestling around with my kids. I got my dad back, as many of you probably heard me say in the commercial. And my dad is my best friend. Oh, man, I'm even going to do it here. He's my best friend. I jokingly say to him that he biologically engineered his buddy because he made me, and I love him, and I'm so thankful for everything that they did and how they turned his health around because I didn't think he was going to make it, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. And his life is so much better. He got his sex drive back, which is both heartwarming and disgusting at the same time. And I love my dad. And I asked my dad, I said, what can I tell the people at this seminar that you wished you could have heard when you came? And he said, if it wasn't for the fact that I was losing my eyesight, that I thought I could go blind, I probably wouldn't have gone to the seminar. And he said, and even at the end of the seminar, if it wasn't for the fact that I was going to go blind, I probably still wouldn't have done it, which blows my mind. So I'm here. I'm not diabetic. I am here as on behalf of your family members. I want you, on behalf of your loved ones, your kids, to tell you, even if you are skeptical at the end of this, do it. I mean, look at the results. 10 years of taking medication, in 2 months, no longer needing it. A completely different person. And I've learned about diabetes is it's not like a bruise or a sore that you could see it get worse. You don't know it's happening. And it's easy to think it's something else. Like we honestly thought it was my dad aging, okay? So thank you, and please, for your loved ones, get an appointment at the end of this. It really does turn things around. Oh, and I need